or 50, I should say. But the others are below 30 years. But the two gentlemen I'm having are coming in from a school that is celebrating or marking 112 years. That's close to a huge century, if you are to look at that. Now they're in their second century, taking on Uganda's education strides even higher and bigger. Now my guests are coming in from Nabali High School as they're celebrating 112 years with a theme this year of the celebrations looking at restoration, recovery and reconstruction. The big question is though, what does that theme imply? My guests, I'll start with one who is at my immediate left. This is Mr. Matovu Waswa, patron, Nabali Old Students Association. A very good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Very good morning to you. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, everybody. A special good morning to Nabalians.
Okay, and to all the Nabalians who are watching us this morning, thank you very much. And for those who have just joined us this morning, we are talking education, but pretty much taking our focus to Nabali High School and seeing how far it has gone with the 112 years they are celebrating this year. Now, the other gentleman on set this morning is on my extreme left, or the extreme left of the studio this morning. And this is Mr. Okai Stanley, the Vice President of Nabali Old Students Association. A very good morning, Stanley, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, students. Good morning, Nabalians. I'm happy to be here.
All right, I'll start with Mr. Matovu. When it comes to Nabali, me as a Ugandan who doesn't know where the school is, just take us briefly to the location and then also the background of Nabali High School.
Thank you very much. To reach Nabali High School, you go up to Mbale in the Bugisu region. Then from Mbale town, you drive towards Tororo, about 7 kilometers on Mbale-Tororo highway, and then take the road going to Rakaka border post. You drive about 3 kilometers, and then you break off at the roundabout in the Nabali Town Council. It's about less than 1 kilometer. You'll be at Nabali High School. The school, like you said, is quite old. Officially, it is 112 years, though it actually began in 1900. This school was founded by the missionaries of the Church Missionary Society way back in 1900, when the very first person to think of establishing a learning center in that area landed in the eastern part of Bugisu of this country. He was called Reverend Crabtree. Actually, one of the houses in Nabali High School is named after him. He didn't stay long. He stayed up to 1903. He got what at that time was known as black fever, which is now malaria. And he went back to the United Kingdom. And they sent in other missionaries like Reverend Banks and the Ugandan mentored missionaries at that time. So roughly that is how Nabali was begun. But the actual establishment of the school was 1912. So that's why you mark the celebrations of the 100 years in 1912, and now this is our 112th year.
Okay.
Yes.
And Mr. Okai Stanley, let me get to you off quick. When you look at the nature of our education today, I would just wish to have your experience during your time at Nabali High. When you look at the fond memories you have with the school, what are some of those that you can share with my viewer this morning, or some of the old students from the same school?
Thank you, our presenter. Well, my name is Stanley Okai Malinga once again, and I'm the Vice President for Nabali Old Students Association. My journey So Nabali High School started in 1993, that is in the month of March. And I was assigned to a great house called Agri House. And that is where I began my secondary life for another 4 years. And I sat my UCE exams at that very school. I would like to extend my great appreciation to this great school because it has made me who I am. It has made me connect with the outside world. It also shaped me because this is a place where you learned how to relate with people, you learn how to relate with society, you learn how to relate in your religion, and so many other things. So one of the reasons why we are celebrating 112 years is the benefits that we have seen out of this great school that has molded us to what we are today.
Okay. And Mr. Matovu, you know, you as an old student from Nabali, yes, and also being part of the Old Students Association, when you look at, you know, Nabomali's culture as a school, and then also looking at its relevance to today's society, why would a parent take their child to Nabomali today? And why would a parent who has a child or a guardian who has a child in Nabomali leave their child to have their education within the school?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, Nabomali High School has got a culture of no boundaries on tribes. That is one of our biggest strengths as Nabomali High School. The only tribes we have in that great school are Agri, Apollo, Banks, Crabtree, Huntington, and Tomsangi, and those are the houses.
Okay.
It's one of the institutions I've been with where there is no tribalism. For us, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is you're a Nabomalian, and then on a smaller scale, you belong to a house, one of those 6 houses. The second one is Nabomali has a culture of producing an all-rounder human being, from sports to academics to discipline. If you may have noticed, many of the products of Nabomali High School are very straightforward people. We boast of many of us who have been in society for long. Just for the benefit of my viewers, I didn't tell you that I joined Nabomali High School in 1973, and I left in 1976. But now you find that I work with Stanley at an administrative level. The age is not the problem. It is the Nabomalian which is the problem. So that we can work together as products of Nabomali High School. When somebody goes to Nabomali High School, you know that they will love the school. They'll be able to express themselves openly. And I think that's why we mostly have many judges, and let me say the judiciary has got very many Nabomalians because of the way we express ourselves, right from the background of the founders of the school. If you look at other disciplines like medicine, engineering, if you look at finance, if you looked at the so-called arts subjects, the products of arts subjects, Nabomalians are all over. We had lost track for a good period of about maybe 40 years. And then we noticed as old students that our identity was dying out. We came back slowly in mid-1980s as old students to reclaim the glory of Nabomali High School. But we were not as active as in the last 10 years, especially from 2017, when we said that, no, this is a battle that all the students have got to fight. Because if we had not intervened, probably the school would have now been extinct. It was left to what we call in the Nabali language to the tenants and not the owners of the land. Now, the owners of the land are those people who went through the school, who know the culture, who feel at heart that the school should exist. When the education ministry began sending people in the school without considering their background, the school started losing ground. And it was a bit unfortunate that at times we had to get in conflict with the ministry, in conflict with the school administration, in conflict with the church to make sure that we feel that our school gets back where it is. So if somebody saw Nabali High School in 2017, when all buildings were dilapidated, students were behaving the way they wanted, even one of the greatest assets we had in the school was the swimming pool had almost totally gone to almost zero. And you go now at the school, as we celebrate 112 years, you see that the impact of the old students has been real. It has been real because we have taken the courage to restore the infrastructure. We have taken the courage to restore the discipline of the students. At one time, our students were walking with food into their dormitories in plastic bottles, plastic containers. We said, no, this cannot happen, because when I joined the school way back in 1973, we had a full week of orientation of how to use cutlery, how to eat in the dining hall, how to share dining with girls. But now everybody was walking to their dormitories with the food in their containers. Now, these are the cultures we are bringing back as old students, and they are real. We had some money coming in from our friends from UK in 2018, and we decided to buy furniture for the dining hall, so that everybody sits in the dining hall and they eat from the dining hall like we used to do many years ago. Now it has gone back to the culture. The uniform had become a problem. Everybody was buying uniform wherever they would find them, because the people in administration were not bothered about providing the uniform as it would be. Now it is back to what it's supposed to be. So when I see that we had a little bit of conflict with the ministry, we had to put our foot down and say, no, it's high time we got a head teacher who is our own, who cares about the image of Nabali High School.
Okay. And now that brings me to Mr. Okai Stanley Maringa. Stanley, when you look at what the president has actually, given us in the preamble of how far the old students have brought back the glory days or restored the days of Nabali High, while associating with some of the old students, how hard or easy has it been over the years?
Thank you once again. Like our patron has just mentioned, we have really come a long way as Nabali old students. Our school had gone down in terms of academics. We had lost a lot of equipment in the science laboratories. Most of the other departments got buildings dilapidated, and including the dormitories for the boys. But the courage that we got to restore all these facilities has been very immense. And I want to believe that it is now the reason why the government is considering Nabali High School as one of the priority schools to receive support from the Ministry of Education in terms of restoring the old traditional schools. But it is the main reason why we are strong, that government is really coming up to come and support our activities as the Nabali Old Students Association.
Okay, and let's now rush to the theme this year for the celebration. The theme is restoration, recovery, and reconstruction. I wish to take it step by step from each word here. There's restoration and recovery, and then the reconstruction. My viewer or an old student from Nabali High would wish to know what was the genesis behind, the formation of the theme, and what is the objective towards the words that were encrypted in the theme for this year's celebrations.
The restoration is the recovery of the restoration of the glory of Nabali High School. In the 70s, probably up to mid-80s, Nabali High School was always ranked among the best performers, both academically and in sports. I can proudly tell you that all the years I was in Nabali High School, whenever the results were released, you'd never look for Nabali High School above number 5 in the country. When it came to sports, I remember at one time, Nabali High School had 5 players in the basketball team of the nation, which went to represent Uganda in Cairo. That was 1974, 73. When it came to football, we were producing players in national teams. When it came to swimming, Nabali High School was the only school with a swimming pool in those days. So you'll see that we lost out. You could look for Nabali in the academics, and you'd start from number 500 upward. When it came to sports, we were nowhere to be seen. But now, even this year, Nabali has managed to perform up to the national level. We've had 4 teams participating at the national games, secondary games. Twice last year, 2022, Nabali High School hosted the secondary school game swimming gala. And they have participated in 2 other galas since then. So that is the journey of restoration, what we used to have. During our days, that school was referred to as Nabali Bulaya because of the staff who were there and the infrastructure. The school had all laboratories in all subjects. Then we had all fields for all games, for about 7 games, which were not very common. We had swimming, we had basketball, we had volleyball, we had athletics, we had football, we had lawn tennis, we had cricket. But all those things disappeared gradually. So that is the restoration. We need to restore our glory. At one time, the bench had 12 Nabali judges. The first Chief Justice of Kenya was a Nabalian. Oh. Yes, the first black Chief Justice of Kenya. And at one time here we had Justice Mwine, we had Justice Ogola, we had Justice Muchivi, we had so many. Currently we have the Chief Justice, he's a Nabalian.
I've seen him on the
Justice
front page
Catherine
of,
Bamugameri is a Nabalian.
And the former head prefect.
Then we have people like Dr. Omagino heading the Heart Institute.
Professor Nawangwe?
Nawangwe is also a Nabalian.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can see that we had very many people in key positions, but they went dwindling because the performance of the school was going down. So that is we need to restore that glory. Then when it comes to recovery, as I said, if you had gone to Nabali High School a little, like 10 years back, the school was in a very sorry state. The infrastructure, I think they had last painted those buildings probably 20, 30 years ago, from the time when the school was burnt by some rowdy students. it went down and down and down until almost everybody was giving up. By 2017, the population of the school had gone down to about 490. But it's a high school, a mixed high school.
490 is quite
yes.
a low number.
Yes. And yet even during our days when the population was still low, we were more than 1,000. Currently, the numbers are going to 1,000 because people are now beginning to appreciate what is happening in the school. The school performance is raising gradually. The academics may not be as fast as the others.
But it's a gradual process.
But it's a gradual process. Sports has shot up. All other aspects, we've gone back to where we feel that that's where we belong.
Okay.
Yes.
And Stanley, your take on this year's theme, looking at reconstruction and recovery. What do you think needs to be done moving forward? Now, I want us to have this conversation basing on, for example, the current students. I think they also have a part to play. Like the patron has put it, when you realize that we have a gradual process, but at least you can easily see that the performance is increasing. You're looking at the glory days of sports returning to the school. Now, back to how we can recover and restore the days of Nabali High. What should, let's say, the students and the teachers do to ensure that this is a process that is gradual but sustainable?
Well, thank you once again. Like Petron has mentioned, the academics has been improving slowly but steadily. Thanks to the current administration that is really strict with its staff, and welfare is well adequate. So we are experiencing an annual improvement in the performance of the current students. We are also experiencing an increase in the number of enrollment from the senior ones. So our strategy under the partnership of NOSA and the school administration is to see that we have a flowing generation that we are managing, to see that they give us good marks probably at the end of their senior 4 and also end of their senior 6, because our form of recovery and the restoration and sustainability of our school is that these are the next leaders of the school. Because once you are a student in Nabali High School, automatically you are a member of Nabali All Students Association. And we are trying to push them up to the higher institutions and see them off to the world. But of course, with that mentorship of loving their school, we expect that they will come back and serve the school with what they have benefited from. Yeah.
And perhaps if I could compliment Stanley.
Okay.
There is what we call a bursary scheme, which is being run by the Old Students Association. 3 years ago, we identified 12 students randomly from the whole country, from all regions. Those students who got good marks from UPE schools, but they got first grades. And we said that, okay, each house is going to be allocated 2 students. So we pay school fees full for those students who came in from UPE schools but had good grades. The reason being that we know that a child who gets 8 points from a UPE school is a very bright child. Now, most of them don't have the funds to go to high schools because they are used to the UPE system. So we are now sustaining that group into Nabali. And so far we have got 12. And on top of that, we realize that some of our students tend to fall out because of lack of tuition. So we have what we call a benevolent fund. We come in to help maybe a girl who has come to senior 3 and they feel they don't have tuition anymore, they have to fall out. We come in as old students and say, no, we're not going to lose anybody anymore. Now, when we do such a thing, we are inculcating the love of the school into the students, and they're the future old students who will take our seats, as the standard said.
And Stanley mentioned also something to do with mentorship, patron. Yeah. I don't know, on the element of the patronship, rather on mentorship,
yes.
How have you, helped the current students to prepare them for, the bigger positions? Because like you've mentioned, when you look at the names that you've actually broken down of the people who have been through Nabali, it shows that the school was structured on creating level-headed individuals in society.
Yes.
So the element of mentorship, on the side of the old students, what have you done over the years?
Every year we have what we call career guidance.
Okay.
And we get volunteers from society, from ourselves, to go back and talk to the students every beginning of year to show them that this is so-and-so, he came to the school in this year, and this is what he is. Now, with that, the students get encouraged to try and become like the students who we go with. I remember last year when we went for homecoming, one girl said, "Oh, I want to take a picture with the Chief Justice because I'll be a judge one day."
Oh, wow.
Another took a picture with the Dr. Mwambo, said, "I want to be a doctor." So when we go back as old students, it encourages our students to emulate us. Just think of it. 2 years away, I'll be 70. But I still go back. I drive every month to make sure that I am in connection with the school administration and the students.
And now let's look at the community, the society where the school is. How impactful has it been to ensure that at least now the school is being restored and is recovering for the past 10 years or so that the old students have been going back to ensure the growth of the school?
The school has made a very big impact on the society currently. First of all, the infrastructure.
Okay.
When UNRWA was working on that highway going to Rakaka,
okay,
we realized that there was an opportunity of getting tarmac to our school. So we engaged the Minister of Works, we engaged UNRWA, we engaged the bishop, we engaged everybody. And we got a CSR from UNRWA, and we had tarmac going up to, I think, Nyondo TTC. So it goes past Nabali High School. Now, after the tarmacking of that road, he said, no, now our school looks bad. We need to get tarmac into the school. So we got that advantage, and we worked on the tarmacking of the school. However, you will see now that Nabali Town Council, fully tarmacked with the solar lights, are benefiting from the recovery of the greatest school they had in the area. And now all the work we do in the school, the reconstruction, we buy materials from the local area. So they have benefited in business as the community. Yes.
Now let's look at this year's celebrations. How do you normally celebrate, by the way? I think I would have even asked that question first off. How do you intend to have this year's celebrations? Do we expect to have a chief guest? Have the celebrations already occurred? Or it is something that is in the groundwork?
We are yet to confirm the chief guest, but if we don't get, we invited the chief guest from the ministry.
Okay.
But short of that, if the chief guest does not come, we always have a standby chief guest, and that is the Bishop of Mbali Diocese.
Okay.
Remember, Nabali High School is a church-founded school.
Yes.
In actual fact, these schools belong to the churches or to the mosques, those founded in a region, on the region line. So Nabali High School is directly under the Diocese of Mbali Diocese. So we are always in conjunction with the school administration. We always inform the bishop that that day should be marked off every second Saturday of June. That's when we go back to Nabali as a reunion. So the bishop is aware that in case we don't get a chief guest from the ministry, he stands in as the chief guest.
Okay.
Okay.
So what?
And maybe I should mention that because the school is church founded. We as old students know it, and we have tried to go as close to the church as possible. I am proud to say that in the last 12 months, we've hosted the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda in Nabali High School. Okay. Because he noticed that the school was now getting back to where it belongs, to the church. The government helps the church to run the school, but the school is owned by the church. So when we had a pastoral visit in March last year, he came to Nabali High School, and we told him that we are putting up a pavilion at the swimming pool. And we wanted him to come back and sort of bless what we are doing as old students. He said when we complete the pavilion, we invite him. Okay. So we made sure that all other projects we were working on were ready. Among them was the pavilion of the swimming pool. Now Nabali High School is no longer using fire to cook. We are using gas. Oh. Yes, supplied by Shell, Vivo. Then the water reservoir had totally collapsed. We have restored it by purchasing 2 huge 24-liter capacity tanks that we can have water throughout the time. So when you talk of a chief guest, we always have a standby.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, and I will start to be corrected. The celebrations are this Saturday.
Yes.
Because it's, you said the first Saturday.
The second Saturday of June.
Oh, okay.
Annually.
Okay.
Yes.
So the celebrations are this Saturday.
This Saturday.
All right. And for the old students who are watching us, or those of the people close to Nabali High School, and people who are highly moved and inspired by educating the next generation, it is high time you join this good cause of celebrating 112 years of Nabali High School. Restoration, recovery, and reconstruction is this year's theme. Now, gentlemen, I'll start with Stanley. As we are ending up with our conversation this morning, what advice would you give to the parents, the old students, and then also to the school administration ahead of the 112 years celebration this year?
Well, I would like to first of all thank the current school administration for its energy that it has put in terms of preparing for this big day. To us as Nabali old students, like Petron has mentioned, every Saturday, second Saturday of the year, of June, the month of June, we make a pilgrimage to our school. And it's really an important day that brings us together, the parents, the students, and also the Old Students Association. So this Saturday, all roads lead to Nabali High School, where we once again going to meet and pay allegiance to our school.
Okay. And back to you, Petron, looking into this year's celebrations, what message can you send out to the old students, the school administration, the students themselves, and then the well-wishers as well?
Thank you very much. I'd like to request all old students who are able, just like my VP has said, to make sure that they are available. They spare time for Nabali High School this weekend. And as they spare time for Nabali High School, please come ready to purchase the current magazine. We know annually we produce a magazine as old students. And this is just the cover page of what is going to be expected. Everybody should come ready to purchase a copy. Everybody should come to support your house, support your school. And I can't leave this place without thanking the head teacher and the 2 deputies. They have done a fantastic job. For the first time in, I think, about 30 years, the school has not incurred debts like it was before. And me, it gives us a lot of courage as old students who have been struggling to cover up things here and there, and then incurring debts by administrators. This administration currently, no debt is there except a known debt of a school bus, a new bus. That is understandable. But those undefined debts have been a problem killing our school. The current administration has done a fantastic job in making sure that they are accountable, they care about the school, they care about the students, they care about even the old students. They look for us, which is good for us. They don't take us as people who are interfering in their administration.
Okay.
So I need to thank them very much. And of course, I need to thank you for hosting us. I hope
ours.
I hope you'll host us again. Now that you know that it is annual.
Yes.
We hope next year we are booking space next year.
Yes, as we prepare for 113 years.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And then to you, our dear viewer, especially those from Nabali and then the school administration, I think you've received your salutations from the patron of the Nabali Old Students Association. Looking forward this Saturday, as we will definitely be celebrating together with the students of Nabali and the old students of Nabali as they mark 112 years. A feat like no other, because it's not a rare one. If you come to think of it, not so many schools have lived to mark 100 years. And those who have actually marked 100 years, some of them are also struggling to recover their past days, especially those that are church-founded, because most of them are church-founded, either Catholic, church-founded, or Anglican, or the Church of Uganda. But, well, here we are with Nabali High School. They will be marking 112 years under the theme Restoration, Recovery and Reconstruction. So join this good cause of restoring, recovering and reconstructing of Nabali High School as they commemorate 112 years of existence. My two guests this morning, I've been having Mr. Matovuaswa, who is the patron, Nabali Old Students Association, or NOSA. Again, thank you very much, sir, for honoring our invite and being here this morning. And then also at the extreme end is none other than Mr. Okai Stanley. Now, Okai Stanley is the Vice President of NOSA, that is the Nabali Old Students Association. Again, thank you very much for joining us, Stanley.
You're welcome.
And to you, our dear viewer, thank you very much for being part of our conversation this morning. We shall surely be back tomorrow for more live broadcast, news, information, and a bit of entertainment, since tomorrow is a Friday, and we'll be giving you more of the GMU Friday edition and also preparing you for the Heroes Day celebrations on Sunday. But before that, Saturday, 8th of June, this very month, or just a day to go, you will be able, for those who are in eastern Uganda and you're close by Nabali, please pass by and celebrate. Be a well-wisher at least, and celebrate the 112 years with the school. But also tomorrow, Friday, let you as a viewer who is also highly interested in football to go and support the Uganda Cranes as they take on Botswana in the Mandela National Stadium tomorrow as football returns to Nambole. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. All I'm wishing you today is a good day, a happy hunting day for all the hustlers out there, and a good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
PDM, changing lives.
This weekend on UBC.
We know what we are doing, and we're doing it in rebellion. But do you know what we say? He will understand. Now he will understand. We carry it on. We want our children to be better than that.
Why we are living in rebellion, but we want our children to be so good at obedience.
We can only parent as far as or as much as we are obedient to our Father.
If you rebel against him and you expect your children to be obedient, I'm telling you, God in his mercy may come and meet them on his own, but you will become a reject. You will become a reject before your children.
This weekend on UBC.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princes.
Mothers give their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on the skin with baby Junior jelly.
So dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282.